go. And we're live. So thank you. So there's our desktop. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there. That was 7 minutes of nothing. So we are live, and I'm going to go to the title for what we're about to open. So this just arrived. We got almost a 5-month delay, which is a little frustrating because this comes from China, which is a day, a day at the most in the mail. You can get things pretty quickly. So what am I talking about? You know from the title of the video. So the Restoration Games, their Return to Dark Tower. So the revival of the original Dark Tower game. Was that a Milton Bradley game originally? Who knows? It's all Hasbro now. It doesn't matter. But we're going to try to get this open. It's a little tall for the table, as you can see. And as you can see, it's very bubble wrapped. So not only did we have a little technical trouble getting started, I'm sure this is going to be a fiasco trying to get all this open. I think we're just going to get it out of this box first. So thanks everyone for hanging in there, and hopefully you got back. You got back on the stream. So the stream is there's a little 7 minutes of me screwing around, and we are back. So yeah, this has already been around for a while, especially in North America. I think Restoration Games really favored North America for distribution. They had a lot of hiccups, and they left Australia and the rest of Asia for last, which kind of sucks. I mean, we're usually priority for most other companies, but maybe it was just a very few orders, and they wanted to make people happy that we're gonna be making videos and reviews and things as soon as possible. So North America, EU, and then Japan was last on the list, so this just showed up. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the title so I can have a place to cut, and then we will open this up. So give me a few seconds on the title, and I'll be right back. Welcome to another unboxing. This is Upturned Table, and today we have Return to Dark Tower, the Restoration Games kind of revival of the classic 80s board game with the plastic tower in the middle. So at least it's not an app. So let's see what this looks like. This arrived a bit of a delay, so you may have seen previous unboxings by other channels. That's why this is another unboxing. And we'll take a look. This is the base game, the Alliances expansion. There are Dark Horde's miniatures, and then upgraded tokens. So we'll see a little bit of that. I don't think it's everything. There was a mousepad style board for it that made things a little bit bigger. So we didn't go for that. And I think there's an art book as well. And the other interesting thing about this is May 31st, the end of this month. They are going to 9th Level Games is doing an RPG based on this setting. So let's see how good this setting is and if it'll be an interesting RPG. So here we go inside. So I think we're just going to have to take this block of of bubble wrap out of here. So give me a second to just kind of shift this out. Wow. Okay, that was harder than I thought. So we have a big block of bubble wrap now that was not going to come out of the box. I literally had to shuck it like an oyster to get it out. So let's go through this the hard way. I don't even know what's the top anymore. This is what happens when you spend a week off. Okay, this looks like the top. Let's try this. No? Yeah, there we go. Those look like some upgraded tokens. All right. And here's the Alliance's expansion. And it just keeps coming. Yeah, I'm really glad that they've started to do this. You probably have noticed if you've gotten things shipped directly from China, they have corner protectors now. So when they bubble wrap stuff, they do corner protectors because bubble wrap sometimes doesn't do much to protect box corners. Here's the Dark Horde expansion. Whoa. Okay, so this is a double thick box. It's almost a cube. But it's quite beautiful. Look at that. These guys over here, and that's some foil detail. But look at the, I guess we'll get this plastic off so you can actually see. Nice. Yeah, that is not a, this is not a thin game. Look at that. But I guess it does have the tower element in it, so it needs to be at least that thick just for the tower. Wow. So let me get this plastic off so you guys can see. Yeah, I've got a tiny desk that I'm, oh, really nice. Yeah, now you can see without that plastic, the detail on the cover. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm already on the side of Restoration Games handling Hero Quest. They just the box cover. They've done a much better job than Hasbro did reviving that. So I think we've got a sheet on the back. Oh, there we go. So this is the, oh, really nice. So the back of the box is actually artwork. That's beautiful. Those look like our factions or our kingdoms. And look at that detail. Really beautiful. Wow. And so this was the paper on the back of the box kind of giving us the details. So are you ready to take on the tower? An ancient evil has awakened from within these ebon walls, plunging the four kingdoms into death and despair. Raise a mighty host of warriors, wield powerful treasure, and rally companions to fight back against the darkness. So Return to Dark Tower combines classic adventure and technological wizardry, including 4 hero figures, 4 hero boards, 16 plastic buildings, 24 plastic skulls, 136 cards, 200 tokens, 3 quest markers, a haggle die, game board, and 1 mind-blowing tower. A meticulously engineered motorized menace of light, sound, and physics. All right. And there is a free app. So there is an app, actually, after all. So the free Return to Dark Tower app is required to play. So there we go. You will need to connect the tower to the smart device generating hundreds of quests, events, battle cards, and more. Wow, so we are this does have to be a device, and we do have to have internet. I guess not, maybe not internet, maybe all the data resides on the app itself. And we do need 3 AA batteries. Great. So ages 14 and up, 1 to 4 players, 90 to 120 minutes, and 3 AA batteries. So we're going to have to see. We may take a break and pick that up. So I'm really interested to see how they get all of that in there, everything they just mentioned. So there we go. So the top of the box is, as you could see, just that half sleeve and decent. Yeah, so no details or anything in the box, but nice heavy box with gorgeous foil on the front. So this looks like our tokens. Yeah, there we go. So everything is together here. I'm really hoping that they've done a nice job setting this up to go back in the box, that there's a room for everything. It would be a shame if it didn't. It didn't. This, gorgeous box didn't hold everything well. Yeah, they're not messing around with this. But the original Dark Tower, if any of you had that from the 80s, it was a huge box. It was a box probably double the size of this. It was humongous. So this shouldn't be that surprising. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Instructions. Let me get all this out. Instructions for putting stuff back in. That's never a bad thing, because you can at least see what they intended with their trays and everything. So here's our instructions, our rule book. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Our instructions for getting things back in the box. That's a nice detail. Yeah, it looks like they did get everything to fit reasonably well. Our dashboards for our characters. Well, they're not the thickest thing in the world. They're nice quality. The coat on them is really nice and heavy and nice. Printed on the back. Look at that, Hasbro. Look at that, Hasbro. You can print on the back of things as well. Not all your printing has to be one-sided. They are a bit thin, but if they're just, they're mats that just sit under everything. So here's our Brutal Warlord, our Orphaned Scion, the Relic Hunter, and Spy Master. So it looks like we've got all of our room for abilities and everything. So hopefully these fit well around it looks like from that illustration that everything fits well around the game board itself. So here's our tokens. So these aren't insanely thick as well. You can see decent thickness, and the size of them is not bad. The printing is beautiful. The quality is really beautiful, but not the thickest, and no linen finish on the paper or anything. So you can see there's no texture. It's just a very matte, smooth, but the color is nice and bright. And look at that, two-sided. Would you believe it? Yeah, these guys would have done a gorgeous Hero Quest, I have a feeling. Nice. And another sheet. So it looks like all of our abilities and things that go on the dashboards are here. Let's just pop one out. Yeah, so you can see, not insanely thick, but definitely not, they're not going to come apart. And they're really cleanly punched. There's not a lot of those little burrs on the edges from all the connecting points. And all of these paper will be replaced, I think, with the acrylic. Hopefully those are a decent upgrade. They're, it's not necessary, but sometimes it looks a little bit nicer on the table. But these are printed really well. I like the gold framing on a lot of the tokens. And we've got some little three-dimensional, some little pop-out three-dimensional structures there. All right, so that's it for the tokens, and here's another explanation of how all of this goes in here. I guess they really want to make sure you can put this back together. Wow. So here are the miniatures. So our 4 kingdoms, our 4 characters. Oh, these are taped. So quite a elaborate structure here. So there we go. Oh, those look great though. Our 4 characters, and these look like the stackable buildings. You can see the detail on that. Yeah, these look like with a matte spray and some wash. These could have some really nice detail. Maybe even a little dry brush. Those could look really nice. And let's take a quick look at the detail on the miniatures. Yeah, not bad at all. A real rigid, if these are PVC, a real rigid PVC, but there's nice detail in there. Look at that. Not that real melted candle look that a lot of the, oh yeah, these are nice. Nice detail. And already, yeah, that detail's really popping out. It already looks like there is something on the plastic to kind of, yeah, they do look like they've had some sort of wash or something, that there's some sort of ink or something Those apply because look at how the detail is coming out a bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they have been a little dirty on the underside, so they already have been washed with some sort of ink. The details really, pop out. So that's why it's looking so sharp as well, as we're getting the accent of that wash. These look, really nice right out of the box with that little bit of wash on them. A little dry brush of some different colors. I think each faction has a color, so you could dry brush them with that color just to pick up some of the edges, and that would really look nice, and then they'd be really distinctive on the these as well. No, it's actually the towers as well. Look at that. You can see the little bit of inconsistency. Yeah, so everything has been washed with some kind of ink or something, a darker color to get some of that detail out. Wow, that really looks nice. And here's our single, our wagering die. So all custom engraved. Those are really nice too. So it's a nice kind of marble finished die with a bunch of icons on it. Wow, that's impressive. I mean, it's just your typical vacuum tray that's holding them, but the state that they're in. Oh, I was wondering this. I think I saw in a thumbnail the skulls and was wondering why they were so detailed, that, had they opened the box and washed the skulls before the unboxing, but actually no, look at that. They are pre-washed. Some of the eyes didn't quite get it as much, but look at that. Yeah, the detail really pops out. Oh, we do have colored bases. Yeah, there we go. So we do have bases to go on, so they're visually more distinctive. Wow. So the skulls are really benefit. So I guess we've got 2 sets of 12 here. They really benefit from that wash. Not just chunks of white plastic. So here we have our typical, these are hard plastic as opposed to more of a silicone or rubber. So hard plastic bases, so I'm not sure whose color is who, but of course these just snap on, so they're more visually distinct. Nice. So this looks like this is going to be the pocket where where all of these skulls will live. Wow, that's pretty impressive. So a nice detail that was sorely lacking in that Hero Quest revival. That thing looked about as cheaply as it was done in the 90s. All right, so now we've got our next layer. So following the instructions in opposite order. Look at that. So not only, the shape to hold to protect the tower, but we've got all of this detail, and of course the game logo vacuum formed into just the little sheet. Wow. So I think we're gonna have to do a second video with the tower on and operational and hooked up to the app, because I don't think I've even downloaded the app yet. All right, and here's our cards. Yeah, the artwork. If they, I think that was probably one of the inspirations for them to do a tabletop game, because there's some really gorgeous artwork for this board game that would really go to waste, if this was the only place it ever appeared. So let's take a quick look at these item cards. So these are the little mini board game size cards. All of our potions, these are the magic items and things. And then we also have corruption cards. So let's double check. Yeah, these are potions. Look at the backs. Yeah, really well done. Nice and distinctive. And our corruption cards with all of our text. And then valor. Tests of valor. Tests of prowess, tests of sacrifice. So I think they're indicating an area on the board that needs to be tended to. Nice. Yeah, so they're decent quality. They're not crazy thick, and they don't have the linen finish, but still you're getting a nice bright, clear print on there. Let's take a look at some more potions. Some looks like potions and then some quest items. Nice. So yeah, the artwork is nice and brilliant on all of these. Very thematic. That's great. Not just line art and not just some old recycled. They really had some, wow, tools of the saboteur. They had some nice, nice work made. Yeah, that's going to be a good looking book. At the very least, the artwork in the 9th level RPG is going to look really nice if they have access to all of this. All right, and here's our bigger treasure cards and things. So the Outlaw King, Rigor the Unbreakable, Hakan the Artificer, Artificer, nice. So maybe allies, yeah, the Dryad, the Horse Lord, the Fathomless. Nice. So it looks like a lot of ally cards. Yeah, they're two-sided, so yeah, companions. As a companion. Nice. And then these look like fiends and horrible creatures. Oh, look at that. Yeah, great artwork. So we'll see some miniatures for these, I believe. The Striga, the Titan, the Exile. Wow. Yeah, so both of these, or all of these cards are two-sided, so two different types of effects and artwork on both sides. It's really nice. And here we have our treasure cards, yeah, with that back. So these are larger cards and yeah, give advantage. So here's all the magical items they were talking about. Giving advantage to the kingdom that finds them, the player that finds them. Yeah, great art on every one. They didn't skimp at all. Great, and extra baggies. That's always good for everything that has to go in here. So I wonder, I guess this is things. So here's our cards. And I guess, oh yeah, that's right, tokens. That's right. We had like 3 sheets of tokens. So yeah, the hex cards look like they'll sit there, broken up by category. And then these are for all the other tokens that we'll be dealing with. And here it is, the centerpiece, the Bluetooth enabled object. Look at this guy. Wow. So these are transparent, I believe. So there'll be LEDs in here and little doors that drop all kinds of nonsense on you. Yeah, so instead of spinning, so that was the, I think the design flaw of the original tower. It was on a little turntable, and so there was a cheap little motor in there. And as each player's turn happened, the tower turned toward you. And that was the thing that needed to be replaced and made the game unplayable, is that little tiny motor breaking in there. But yeah, this is nice. It's quite a piece of hardware. So there's where our double A's need to go. I do have some double A's, so I might sneak off and our on-off switch. Yeah, it looks decently made. I mean, a lot a lot heftier an object than the 80s version. So we're going to be, looks like we're going to be loading it up with skulls. They'll be distributed as the corruption. Yeah, it sits nicely in there. So that's everything, right? Yeah. Oh no, that's right. There's a board. I didn't look at our diagram. So, oh, here we go. Here's a nice detail. So look at that reinforced box corners. Look at that. There's tape. There's the corners are taped to be reinforced. That's nice. You probably have to be doing that yourself with something this significant. But yeah, the box, so the paper, the covering of the box actually goes over it. So they were reinforced when they produced the box, and then when it was wrapped with the graphics. It was already there, so yeah, much stronger. All right, so this will be impossible to to see very well on camera, but we'll give it a shot. And I don't have the neoprene mouse pad version of it, so I didn't think I'd have a table I could actually get that on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, very nicely produced. So it looks like all the areas are color coded. And still, there's some nice graphic work in some of the mountains and things. So that your tower is going to sit there, and this is... And it has your directions as well, because I think some of those cards specifically referred to the cardinal directions, so which, quadrant the area was in, and even printed on the back. Look at that, the sun symbol. So, yeah, all the way around. Nice. So yeah, their attention to detail is great. Look at that. Reinforced corners. This is sit right back down, because I know that you're going to be, picking this up or taking this out and putting it back in. So you will be putting stress on the box. A little bit nicer than vacuum formed would have been good for the tray, but that's the only thing I could possibly say as a drawback. So let's see. This goes on top of the miniatures. So. Wow. So we'll have to do a follow-up, I think, and put everything where it needs to go in the box itself and see how that actually looks once everything's all said and done. But already it looks like it's going to sit okay. I think I need to shift something in there. But yeah, everything reseats well, and then we have... Yeah, we still have all of our... Oh, interesting. Okay, so you can actually put the boards. So the order that they're talking about is the rulebook on top, game board, hero boards, and then everything follows. So I should pull that board out of there. So I'll do that once I have everything punched out or everything in place. I will show you guys how it looks, because I'm not going to be using all the paper tokens, and I think some of these miniatures will replace like the cardboard miniature towers that we saw. But yeah, the dashboards are nice. They're just not very thick, but maybe that was a space requirement as well, because if these would have been thick cardstock, putting them on top would have been a little trickier. And then all of our tokens. So let's take a look at the... so you can see a little bit of the tokens indenting on the cover there. So this is a full color, but yeah, just a paper cover, no heavier cover stock on the rule book, but very board game style rule book. So their setting is: long ago the sorcerer king Azkol built a tower at the crossroads of the four kingdoms. Behind its ebon walls he practiced dark sorcery in his search for power. As Azkol's madness grew, his apprentice and the sorceress Nemet plotted against him. She stole his wondrous treasures and fled the tower, then recruited her heroes from the four kingdoms to stop him. One hero prevailed. Azkol was defeated and the tower lay vacant. But now a new adversary has taken up residence. It grows in power, spreading corruption and calling forth wicked creatures from afar. The foe cannot be defeated alone. The heroes of the four kingdoms must unite to return to the tower. So there we go. There's our thematic return to... Well, there's the staples pulled a little bit of our printing up there. Yeah. So it's just a stapled booklet, but yeah, a little bit got lost. So here's all of our components that we took a look at in the box. So these game boards, so those are saying, I guess all those buildings were actually different shapes that we saw. So citadels, sanctuaries, villages, and bazaars. And then the four heroes, the skulls, the foe tokens. Oh, so these, without the miniatures upgrade, just the core box itself, when monsters are spawned, they're just those hexes. And here's, the quest marker. So we'll have plastic versions of the quest. I wonder if they washed all the minis, or it's just the ones in the core boxes. And then special tokens that indicate different conditions. All right. There we go. So showing the setup. Oh yeah, remember the original one had holes like you punched, you like there were pegs on all of the buildings and you slotted them into their spots on the board. So they're kind of doing the same thing without all of the slots. So there's the whole world setup. Yeah, and it looks like the dashboards will fit comfortably around the board. Yeah, I wonder how much bigger. I think it was a significant size increase for the neoprene version. But then where do you put that? That's the only problem. So hero setups, the app setup, here we go. So yeah, you have to download and launch a new game to get everything going. So it'll generate, I guess it'll generate your quests and then also trigger the tower. So that's interesting. You'll have to have at least one, probably Bluetooth enabled device to get the tower to do anything. Otherwise, it just sits there. Hopefully, there's a like a retro, a retro version where it just makes noise. All right. So concepts to know: advantages, items, warriors, hero spirits, and corruption. Oh, and companions. Yeah, those were all the companion cards we were looking at. Concepts: the kingdoms, the buildings, the skulls, the glyphs. Oh, I guess, yeah. So on the tower, there were different glyphs on each of those doors to indicate what is being corrupt, what's going to puke skulls on you. And then the foe cards. How to read those. And then turn sequence. Individual turns, monthly quests. Oh, that's right, because we're doing like a year. I think we've got so maybe 12 turns. I think it's a whole year. They even mentioned that in the RPG that they may use the sequence of, or the passing of a year to mark the time, state of a turn, making trades, spending versus losing, middle of the turn, movement, heroic actions, and advantages. Yeah, it looks like they spelled out everything and types of advantages on a little table there. All right, and battle. So spending advantages for battle, battling the adversary. So there's only one die in there, so I think it's just based on strength stats. All right. Quests, completing a quest. Oh, so yeah, we'll put those markers in areas where quests are available, and then I'm sure they'll have, yeah, rewards. Oh, you spend gear. Interesting. Exploring a dungeon. Reinforcements. The haggle die. Oh, here's what all the symbols on the haggle die are. So reinforce normally. After you reinforce, gain 3 warriors. After you reinforce, gain 1 potion. Gain 1 gear. And reinforce action cancelled. The guy with his arms folded. Nice. End of turn, placing the skulls. So example, the Spymaster drops a skull in the tower. When you do, the skull emerges into the East Kingdom, which is the Relic Hunter's home kingdom. 2. Bad. Yeah, I'm really curious how the sound and lights on the tower, how that looks. And then event cards, or events in the game. And end of game. So losing game, when your hero would gain their 3rd corruption when the 6th month ends. So you've only got 6 months. And when you have to take a skull from the supply and there are none. So when you're out of skulls. And then here's a icon guide for the app. So I'll have to learn some icons in that app. Yeah, there's no screen. Maybe there was earlier a screen grab of the app. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel if there's no way to free yourself. Oh yeah, there are some screen grabs. Yeah, so they'll use the art and everything. Hopefully it's very usable. I don't know how I feel about something that can't be freed from a device. I mean, you could just take an old iPhone or something and leave it in the box to be sure you are never without a device. But I don't know. And then the appendix for tokens, and then all of the credits. Yeah, well, a decent book Nice kind of A4 kind of letter size. Oh, great. And a quick reference on the back. That's always appreciated. So you're not flipping through the book for basic. Oh, nice. Commonly missed rules. You gain corruption when, and the winning and losing states, and then all of your icons again. Very useful. All right. So that's, yeah, everything in the main box. And so that's playable with cardboard tokens and cardboard quest markers and everything. But we're going to look at a little bit of an upgrade, of course, because it was on a Kickstarter. You have a bit of an upgrade. So let's take a look at the tokens first. I think that might be so we can actually compare directly to what's on the sheets here. Oh, these are nice. Yeah. So acrylic tokens, but with a multiple colors of printing. So it's not just white. We got some white and gold printed on them, and hopefully that'll give us enough of everything. So yeah, these are a nice, sorry, get one of these open, a nice oh, they're really nice. Yeah, they're not just like laser cut acrylic with some printing on them. They're actually they've got a nice edge to them and everything. Yeah, these are great. A lot of stuff is yeah, a lot of acrylic tokens get pretty cheaply produced, so these are more like a plastic without the laser cut edge. So yeah, all of them are, yeah, and they're all that same kind of quality. Even nice and small. Yeah, so it looks good. You can see they've got a little gloss to them. They're like a plastic and a nice round edge. Yeah, well, these are definitely worth it as an upgrade. Metal's always nice, but when you need things with color on them, these are great. These are really well done. So these will be a good replacement to what's going on there. And then they won't get worn as well. I mean, I guess we'll see over time if any of that paint, the screen printing disappears. But unlike paper tokens, that sometimes the edges start to fray and they start to get a little, especially if someone's holding them, like throughout the whole game, they're kind of nervously holding them and playing with them. You're going to get some frayed tokens. But these look nice. Yeah, the coffers. Yeah, the coffers upgrade. That's how what they called them on the Kickstarter. So these are really well done. That's great. I've seen some disappointing token upgrades in my days. All right. I guess, well, let's see. Let's take a look at the Dark Horde expansion first. So another nice big box. So this is the same size. It sits the same size, of course, not as thick, but sits on top on your shelves, which is good. And the same, yeah, same nice quality of the cover. So no foil on the cover, but still that nice design throughout, and some printing on the edge here. So here is what we're looking at here. So the Dark Horde expansion, the foes of Return to Dark Tower come to life in 65 detailed plastic miniatures with a dark wash to highlight every wrinkle and scar. So these are washed as well. That's wonderful. From the nettlesome brigands to the fearsome dragon and the unscrutable gaze eternal. It includes 4 quest markers. Yeah, so these were the quest markers that were the cardboards kind of standees. Wow, so everything's going to have a wash on it already. That's great. That makes it much more playable. That's what the thing that I ended up doing a bit. Oh, and they're giving you a directory as well of where everything goes. That's nice. Sometimes I have to use these videos to find out where things came from if I can't get them slotted back in. So these are really dark. They're definitely Dark Hordes because they are very dark plastic. And I guess they wanted to have them differentiated easily from the hero colors. So these are a darker, like a charcoal gray plastic. And with the wash on top of them, it adds an even further level of darkness. Can you guys see that? Okay, yeah. Maybe I'll need a little fill light here. Let's see. I think I'm just giving you some underlighting as well. But yeah, you can see the Same nice detail, and it instantly makes you think about the like the quality of the miniatures is nicer than it maybe necessarily is because you're seeing the detail right away. So let me just take you through the whole tray here. So we've got our wolves and demons and spiders. Yeah, and they're all on hex. Yeah, all on hex bases. Yeah, you can see the wash and the bases there. But that's impressive. I'm really happy to see something like this look so good right out of the box. Is it Awakened Realms that does the sun? What do they call it? The sun drop, like directional painting on those. This is, you know, much less technically to do, but has just enough of an effect that it is a nice quality improvement. Yeah, look how they do. Really, yeah, it really helps the detail, and the miniatures themselves, because of that wash, they don't feel like the slippery plastic. They have a little bit of a more of a matte finish to them. And here's our second tray of bigger guys. Let me cut the tape. I can't remember when they promoted the wash on the figures, but wow, that's a nice surprise. I was wondering why things look so good on thumbnails. So here's our towers down the side here. So let's take a look at one of those. Yeah, these are dark plastic. A lot of detail. These probably would benefit from like a light gray dry brush or something to pull some of that detail out so you could see. I don't know, a well-lit board though, you're going to see everything pretty well. Yeah, I'm curious how these look on the board itself. But each one of these quests, oh, that's true, you could actually color coordinate the quest icons there with however the artwork is printed on the cards. Yeah, so these will just mark instead of the, and you can use the cardboard as a color reference to what's going on the miniature there. But let's take a quick look at everything on the trays here. Yeah, big winged creatures, and there's our adversaries, and of course the big boy there. It's like our giant. Wow. Well, we'll take a look up close at some of these. Yeah, and everything's on hex basis to kind of fit the how all the things are spaced. Look at that big guy. So what is that? Like a 70 millimeter? Looks pretty good. Lots of detail. The scale of him is great compared to just the human size. And here's one of our more demonic monsters. Yeah, they really feel nice. And yeah, it looks like some kind of, the way that it's sitting in there, it looks like ink, like some sort of ink wash that they did. And there's our clubbing ogre type of menace. Wow. Yeah, these with this wash, they may be worth doing some nice. I'll try to get these lit well and do some nice 360 close-ups. Wow, and having all of these for an RPG is pretty great as well. That's always a nice thing to have exist. Yeah, so the quality of everything looks really well done. Yeah, you can see, yeah, you can definitely see how the ink is sitting in the wings there. So they just washed all of these guys with a nice black ink, and these were more of a charcoal, so it really darkened them down, but they look, yeah, very nice. It really pulls that detail out. I can't believe what a simple thing that is and what a difference it makes in the look. So yeah, I think some 360s for these Miniatures will be worth it. They, you know, are still paintable, and there's much less. They look so much better right out of the box. That's a really, really good thing. I wonder if that's going to be a thing they keep doing. I guess it would depend on the setting, the type of game. All right, and last we have our Alliances expansion. So I think it's going to give us, yeah, 2 more. So 2 new heroes with their own color and then their own tokens. Oh, wait, does that mean... No, I guess, yeah, no, I guess we do have... Oh, yeah, we do have... So they even give you the tokens for the expansion in the upgrade set. And power skulls. Oh, no. Now we're going to have colored... I guess I can get this out of here. Now we're going to have colorful skulls. So skulls maybe with effect, not just only corruption, but skulls with effect. Great. Now, not only do you worry about the skulls falling in your kingdoms, but you have to pay attention to what color they are. All right. So like the Dark Hordes, not foil, but a nice kind of approximation of kind of foil detail. So the fight against the tower just got darker. So guilds, powerful organizations that exert forces on the 4 kingdoms. So these kind of round dashboards to go around the board. Use it to influence and sway them to your cause. Power skulls. So new skulls imbued with power, the power of blight, omen, frost, and fire. To threaten your heroes. 2 new heroes. The Arkwright builds battlements, and the Haunted Recluse exerts mastery over skulls. All right. Skull power. So 25 influence tokens, 20 new treasures, 12 guild companions, 4 guild flags, and a quest. Oh, and a 1 guild quest marker. All right, let's take a look and see if they also have been inked. That'll be interesting. There's different. So just a quick, let me put this more on camera here. So a quick little booklet, just a few pages to show you what's in here and then how that adds, how that's added to the game. Yeah, see those little dashboards will just sit on their little edge. Oh, and a little bag for for skulls because we've got so many of them now. Nice. So we've got, yeah, green blight, purple omen, red fire, and blue frost. And then the guilds and their banners. And guild companions. And then a little refresher. Yeah, so just a little booklet to show you everything new in here. Yeah, so that's nice that the upgrade set included these tokens as well. So you don't have to mix acrylic or the plastic and the paper tokens. Very thoughtful. Nice. All right. And here's our guilds. Yeah, so they'll sit on the edge. So the Thieves Guild, the Paladins Guild, or Paladins Order, Druid Circle, and Arcane Scouts. So all of those affect the board. And here's our two new dashboards for the Haunted Recluse and our Arkwright. Arkwright. Nice. And yeah, distinctive color differences. That's good. Oh, and our bag. So, oh wow, this is huge. Well, maybe we have to. Maybe it needs to be huge because you're drawing skulls out of it. I didn't look at the rules, but this looks hand size so that you can put skulls in here. And so when there's a different effect, yeah, or when there's that's the way to randomize. Ah, so a very large bag for skulls. And let's look. Oh, and they are washed as well. That's great. Look at that. We'll open the green ones because they look particularly gruesome with the wash on them. Yeah, that's nice. Oh. So yeah, the exact same size, but just different colors for different effects. And yeah, now we have a bag to randomize all of them. So this is just all the skulls, yeah. Nice. And our base colors. Oh, and our flags. Wow, even the flags are washed. That's crazy. Yeah, the guild marker flags are washed as well. It's insane. Nice detail. So these look like they have some point of attachment there, so they must go under or next to something. But all those markers, they look like they could use some color to help make them very visibly readable. Some more plastic bags for our tokens, and yeah, washed miniatures. There's the recluse. Yeah, that's a huge a huge upgrade when it isn't really much, you know. It doesn't seem like that would be too much in the process to just dip everything once it came out of the molds. And it makes them look and feel a lot more deluxe, you know, than just regular PVC miniatures. And we'll take a quick look at these cards. Yeah, so this is giving us not only guild companions, some more companions for the game. Oops, and connected to the guilds. And, oh, a Pegasus. Get out of here. Wizard, Zealot. So a lot more variety. Hopefully the app is all set up to ask you, are you using the Alliances expansion? And these are, a lot of additional treasures. So these are the full-size treasures from the quests and things. And again, more great artwork. Yeah, this is nice. I am now regretting not having that. That I think there was an art book added to the pledge. So I'll take a look and see if they recommend, you know, playing the game without any expansion at first. But I guess the previous expansion had no rules. It was just miniatures instead of cardboard tokens for everything. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't... So it just it's an expansion that makes cooperative gameplay more challenging with the sway of the guilds and battle apocalyptic forces of blight. Oh yeah, so the colored skulls change the... and I guess you're adding influence and then guild ranks. So probably learning the game, the straight vanilla version of the game, is probably a good choice to start with. So I'm very happy this finally made it, and it arrives in great condition and looks really fun. So I'm definitely gonna have to do, unless, well, let me take a look in the chat and see if there's a. So should I run and get some batteries? Or do you guys want to hear this thing bleep and bloop and drop skulls? I should probably make that its own video, because then I can film it differently. I think filming it from overhead is not going to be the best, and then I can set up the app as well. So maybe a little demo, which I'm sure already exists, but it'll be fun, and some more detailed shots of all of those miniatures, because yeah, they did a really nice job of and also a nice job of telling you where things go after they have been taken out. But yeah, really nice job to organize the box itself. Yeah, everything looks like all the vacuum trays and everything seat really well. The only question then so far is the app itself, like how cumbersome and how easy that is to set up, and whether you can just play the game in the app and really not have to interact with the board at all. Hopefully it is just like a random card draw, or it gives you a lot more variation to quests and things than a huge deck of cards could do. Yeah, because that might be something that you would request is, okay, can you give me something physical, a bunch of cards or tokens or some tables or something, tables and dice that can replicate what this app is doing, so I can play this game 10, 20 years from now when the app has disappeared from the app store. whatever happens. So that's the worrisome part of having this kind of technology connected to a game is, there may come a day where hopefully we are in a world without either Google, Apple, or Amazon, and so your device with the app on it disappears. I don't know. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. About having a game tethered to an app, because it says you will need the official Dark Tower game app downloaded on one device with Bluetooth. So the tower is Bluetooth. Welcome to the future. And I thought I had read somewhere that there was a retro mode that at least used the sound effects from the original game. I may be hallucinating, or maybe I dreamt that. But that may be something the app will let you do. So that will be something we'll take a look at in a future video. But yeah, I really want to get this on the table and see. I hope that there's enough people of the generation that would have played the original to know, what kind of upgrade this is. But the setting in the world is interesting. I think it will. I think Ninth Level said they're using their mazes system for the Return to Dark Tower RPG. So I'll be interested to see a quick start or something about that. Yeah. So my only worry is that the game won't have as long a life. The motor won't break. So they swapped the rotating motor that the teeth on the little gears wear out. So the tower no longer spins. They swapped that with an app, with Bluetooth and an app. So yeah, I'll have to try this out as well to make sure that technically the tower is functioning. But yeah, that is it. That is, I guess I can grab the box lid. That is Return to Dark Tower. And the core box itself is just beautiful. I can't remember. I think Restoration is said they're not going to retail with this. I'm not sure, but maybe not in this form, because that's a very nice deluxe version, and it may be pretty hard. Shipping may be pretty unforgiving for this, but yeah, a beautiful production. So we'll just have to see how it actually plays. But they did a nice job of putting everything together. So just as a quick reference, let's see what is not. I'll just take a look at the add-ons real quick while I have you here, and we'll see what was not included in this unboxing. Yeah, the LEDs and stuff look like they're gonna be pretty nice. So alliances, the Dark Horde were the two big things that they listed, and then the coffers, so the upgrade for tokens, Coin of the Realm. So they did a cast, yeah, they did like a cast gold coin. Oh, the neoprene board, which was 35 plus additional shipping, which I was very afraid. And that's about 80% larger than the original board, so it'll dwarf. If you have a really big table, I guess that was worth it. Gold foil art prints were $20, which look beautiful. Custom sleeves for the cards that have artwork, Dark Tower artwork. And yeah, I guess post-campaign. Yeah, so yeah, that was it. So just the big thing that I missed out on was the art prints and the there wasn't an art book then, I guess. Just art prints, sleeves, and a neoprene mat. So I'm sure somebody picked all of that up and is sleeving their cards as we speak. They're nice looking custom sleeves as well. Well, thank you for joining me in this. Let's take a quick look at the chat and see if there's any good stuff that I missed. So thanks, Matt and Abyss, for hanging in there for my restart. I apologize if anybody... there is a soon-to-be deleted false start of this stream. All right. Yeah. So Matt said, thinks everything that about this game will make Hasbro look bad as far as the production. Those are, and really nice board game minis, and it really, they really did a nice job. That wash brings out, if they already had detailed minis, that wash just brings them over the top and makes that detail really visible. Yeah. Oh, so Jan Vigo, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this was an 80s. I believe it was Milton Bradley. Some of their big giant coffin box games from the 80s, and that had backlit kind of acetate windows that had that would just keep track of. So you're marching an army towards the Dark Tower, and you have a certain number of units, and you have to feed them, and they get killed in battle and starve to death, and I think disease as well. And the tower would rotate to face. There was only one screen with a display, and the tower would rotate to face the active player, and then they would go through the thing. But the complaint about the gameplay in that original version is it wasn't very cooperative. It was just kind of a competitive race to get to the Dark Tower and defeat the dragon, and so you're kind of playing four separate games, or however many players there are. You're playing separate games and not really cooperating or doing much together. There was not much player interaction, but it was just kind of so a very board gamey and very just a race to the top kind of thing. But it had nice, it had the miniatures, it had the 3D plastic buildings, and the tower made all kinds of funny noises, very simple, kind of like whatever, like 4-bit, 6-bit noises, really tiny computer machine generated noises. So reusable plastic instead of single-use plastic, is wonderful to see in board games. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's some nice care. So I'm curious to see their future projects. This wasn't their first. I think they did a remake of the Return to Fireball Island or something. One of those games where there's like something rolling. It was a more kinetic game where something is rolling down the board, and you have miniatures in the path of like a a rolling ball of lava or something. Subject of Hasbro. They are one of the worst offenders when it comes to single-use plastic. Yeah, ever bought a mini D&D and the random minis, you will know why. Yeah. You can always buy it later, right? Plus you're always avoiding, the extra tax. Yeah, hopefully. I did have to, wait longer than a lot of people on the Kickstarter, but hopefully this might be impossible to get to Japan with any sort of reasonable price. So I think the price on this whole pledge was $225. So $225 for everything. The base game itself was just the game itself was $125. So it doubled the price with all of the add-ons, but all of these miniatures are pretty nice upgrade, and they did such a nice job with the miniatures that I'm happy to have done that. Yeah, so not cheap, but I think that's their restoration is going for the boutique and also the bit of the nostalgia, the kind of retro appeal. So they are going to be more expensive, and so the Hero Quest, I think with 2 expansions and everything, total was $150. But when you got the actual game, which also took a long time, the quality was just not there. It was a real real step down. I mean, it wasn't a step down from the 90s, but it was a step down from the kind of boutique and Kickstarter like premium games we're seeing now. So shame the tower doesn't have a USB option on it. Yeah, plugging it in or putting it on the shelf to show off. Yeah, would be nice. Yeah, that's true. It's because it's a really, really nice piece. That'd be great if it had like a demo mode where it would just kind of make noises and light up randomly. Yeah, it is a nice piece. Hey, that's that's Brain Drain is there. Yeah, briefly stopping by. Thank you. Appreciate it. The same 4 buildings as the original. Yeah, Matt noticed. Yeah, definitely. That's cool. Yeah, that they use the same 4 types and hopefully tiny skulls. Yeah, just look to see what the price was. Oh yeah, see what people are selling it for. Yeah, did they say, let me double check on the page if it was Kickstarter only. No, maybe not. Maybe they are going to retail, but it's gonna be pretty rough on retail. Oh yeah, I'd almost want to make an acrylic like overlay for those dashboards, because that would be nice to hold all those pieces in place. That might be a laser cutting project, is to do little clear acrylic overlays for the dashboards, because they all have the same layout. So I could just do 4 of those, and then the tokens would seat inside the. They wouldn't shift around. Yeah, so it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say exclusive. So maybe they are releasing it to retail. There wasn't a retail pledge though, so I wonder. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's quite. Yeah, mechanically they have a cutaway on the Kickstarter page. Quite complicated looking. Oh, cool. There's a game store in the U.S. that has it for 179 for the base game. That's pretty good. Yeah, because of 150 plus shipping off the Kickstarter. So that's not bad. Yeah, so it is around. A Swedish store was selling it for 180, but not till the third quarter. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it is going to retail then, and hopefully, yeah, this core box is really nice, and inside is everything you need to play, just a lot less of the kind of premium look, and so the monsters will be just tokens, and the quest markers will just be standee kind of like interlinked little stand-up cardboard. Nice. Yeah, we'll have to see. I think production quality, it's definitely worth the money, and they're getting a little bit out of that price for my nostalgia for wanting to see a dark tower make noises and light up again. So we'll have to see gameplay wise if it's fun, if it's if what they did to kind of their idea of improving the mechanics, if it works well. But it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And these miniatures, if they're usable, with the RPG or just in regular fantasy, will be worth it as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think the my overall reaction is positive. I wish we didn't have to wait for so long, because I think they were first talking. Asia's getting the end of January. Oh, we're looking end of January, and it just kept slipping and slipping and slipping, and we were so far behind on the priorities list, probably because the number of orders. So we just got pushed back until everybody else got theirs sent out, and then ours took, of course, like a day. Like it literally, once it was in Japan, took 24 hours to get here. So yeah, crazy, but good quality. I would definitely recommend it if you like if you've got a phone or a tablet with Bluetooth and you like the original game. This seems like a nice cooperative kind of upgrade to the game. And plus they have the with the guilds, the allies expansion, alliances expansion, adds guilds and a little bit more difficulty to actually cooperating together. So that's nice. That's a nice twist. But look at that. Yeah, beautiful box. So that is Return to Dark Tower, and we'll see. I know they had another project that finished. I'm blanking on it, but like a highway combat game that we'll see what the quality of that looks like, and that did well, of course, on Kickstarter as well. So we hope to see more from Restoration Games in the future. And what game would you like to see them tackle? Like what old game that has some lapsed rights? I wouldn't mind maybe like a Broadsides and Boarding Parties, or there's a couple of old games that, if the rights are floating around out there, might be nice to see come back in a kind of deluxe form. So thank you so much for joining me. So this is Upturned Table. So upturntable.com is the website where you can find everything. And probably do a follow-up video to this so you can see a little bit more in detail how the tower is working, what kind of noises and light up it makes, and what the app is like. I want to answer that question for myself, so I may as well do it on a stream. And apologies for the technical hiccups there, but we got it working. And we have a whole playlist of unboxings, so take a look at that, and you can see everything we've opened up in the past couple of years. And then some miniature 3D turnarounds for some of those games, and lots of stuff. And then our weekly podcast is coming up tomorrow, so we'll be recording a new episode of that tomorrow. So subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of that when we go live. And all things that we do, both live and pre-recorded, exist both on Twitch and YouTube in the archives. So take a look at us there. And thanks so much for joining me. So Upturn Table on social media, and we also have a Patreon. So if you'd like to support what we're doing and give us some input, tell us what to be looking at next, or certain companies or projects that you I think are worth getting out there, getting the word out there. Please let us know if as a patron. So patreon.com/upturntable. And thanks so much for joining me. And Abyss and Matt, thank you for hanging in there. I know it's really late where you are. So take care, and see you again next time. Goodbye.